Today we are doing a upper and lower full arch on 6 implants each, probably, and we'll be walking through the surgery. What's interesting and unique about the way that we do ours is we restore to a final prosthesis within 24 hours and 48 hours for providers outside of our own location. So in 20 doing it with a nano ceramic, so it's a single piece on top of a titanium bar, and you get really great strength and wear resistance. It responds really well to it. With the fact that we have a bar underneath it, you get a lot of added strength, support. But something that's unique about our system, and one thing that I think is very advantageous to the provider or patient really, is that each component is being designed for its partner. So this is all done on the computer, and the teeth are being designed, and then underneath that the bar is being designed for the correct and adequate support. from that denture, but overall you can see that it adapts pretty well. Got decent spread. So on the lower, instead of on the upper, I'm always reflecting on the buccal first. But on the lower, I find that the tissue kind of strips away from the lingual much easier, and then gives me kind of a basis point for reflecting the facial part of this flap. And I need that small tip to really penetrate and get into where I need to go for the beginning part of this prep. So on the CT, I've got probably 12 or 13 millimeters. Again, just like the other ones, I'm doing the posteriors first. Now, lower arches, lower cases are pretty simple in that the angles work out such that if I follow the angle of the mandible and just place them in a normal, reasonable position, I don't have to worry about my multi-unit angles. So in placing them posterior to the mental foramen, I can get as much spread as I want. I don't need to angle them. I'm simply putting them up and down parallel. So they're soft bone cases, but I deal with the complications of it because I'm managing it and making decisions as I'm starting this case, or as I'm prepping the osteotomy. So if I was going to have this issue, I'm going to adjust it. This is 10-5. And open real big for me. And only 2 times, maybe 3, have I ever sent that patient home in a denture. Ever, out of 1,000. Wow. So it's a lot of technique, it's a lot of evaluation, and being very cognizant. Open real big for me. Being really cognizant of where I want to go with the case and how I'm going to get there. I don't have to have rock solid implants on every single implant, because when I torque those, when my restorative guy torques those multi-units in, or the bar in, now it's rigidly fixated to the other ones that have good stability. then you're really cooking with gas. Right, Nadia?
Right.
That bar, right away right away after surgery, is really key to a lot of the successes that we've seen with this. Open real big for me, buddy. Last one. And we're not talking about a little titanium wire and calling it a reinforcing anything in a temp denture. You know, that's the new thing. You put a little cheap wire in or little mesh and you say it's a reinforced temp. Open big. Because you're putting axial load on these lower implants, when you're tightening and untightening the screws, the implant can come out with it. So you just got to be careful with, if you have a loose implant, just make sure you don't over tighten the multi-unit healing abutment. Patient gets these temporaries and then they go to the final, sometimes you would get pushback because, hey, what happened to my temporary teeth? I loved those. Can you just manufacture me a set of temporary teeth as a final? Well, in some cases it's no, because you got to introduce a bar or it's a zirconia or whatever it is. This situation, they kind of have that mentality of, these are already my final teeth. Maybe I don't think that they're perfect, but by the time they get through the healing phase, they all kind of fall in love with them, and you're not fighting the psychology of two different sets of teeth. They only have one set that they have to think about as their new smile. So they generally go from crappy to perfect, and they respond very well to that. Different than crappy to perfect temporaries, and then they have to go from something that's sort of perfect to even more perfect. Sometimes they can get very nitpicky because they're going from something already. They have a basis to go from.
Are you limited to this type of implant system in order to do this process, or have you guys been able to get you the same results with different implant systems?
We'll work with other implant systems. The deal is basically with Bar Horizons that we kind of stay exclusive to them if they're bringing us the lead, etc. But we've worked with other cases and they worked fine. The only one that it doesn't work with, and that's because Straumann has to manufacture their own bars, is Straumann. But we can pretty much get as long as we know what's ahead of us, we can pretty much get the parts and the scan buddies and the things that we need for any type of implant system. On the getdonein1.com, there's a video that we call the consumer alert. It's about a 6-minute video. It kind of goes through the materials. It's kind of good for someone that's sort of interested to see. And then, of course, we have videos for providers that talk about what our system is and how we do it and how much it is and all that. But yeah, do you have my email on there at all?
I don't, but the link to the site is on there, and I think you have the contact request form.
Okay, good. If not, it's just Dr. Dan at getdonein1.com, and they can. I'm usually the best point of first contact. Letting us watch or letting us do our work, and I know he's looking forward to delivery tomorrow.